Hey, yo, guys, what's up? It's your boy, Jimmy Dukes. Here we are with another podcast episode of the Who Is series. We have a wonderful young lady here today that I met out in Atlanta during the ATL meetup. If you're new here, we sit down with different content creators and talk to them about their different experiences and journey on this world of content creation and streaming that we're in. And I think it's very important to sit down and talk to different people that walks of life and the different things that they have gone through as being a content creator and what they're trying to achieve. So this is just another opportunity for people to get to know us a little bit more outside of what we speak about on stream. And maybe for the folks that do already follow a lot of these people might learn a little bit thing more. So we have this young lady here. We met out in Atlanta, Miss SpankQueen. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Oh, my pleasure, your pleasure, all the pleasures.
Nice. I appreciate it. And we were speaking a little bit before we started recording that, full disclaimer, I did meet her out in Atlanta and I met you there and we briefly spoke. But one thing that I can say is from watching from afar is that everybody's liked you. You know, I think everybody spoke highly of you and like, oh, she's super cool. She's super nice. I met your husband briefly as well. So, thank you for taking the time to come on here and talk to us.
Of course, man. I appreciate the opportunity. I did see that you were searching for people, like, because you had a whole setup in your hotel room and everything, but I was definitely way too hungover.
It was a good weekend. It was a good week. We'll just keep it at.
Yep.
No, but that was one of the things that but that was one thing that before I even went out there, I didn't even know I was gonna go myself, and then I'm glad I did go, but I didn't do a good job of kind of reaching out to people because I didn't know anybody. But I got to sit and talk to people and meet them face to face, and they get to see my vibe and see who I am, and maybe they like me, maybe they don't, but at least I had the opportunity to talk to a lot of people that I never knew of, and a lot of people because one thing I can say about that weekend, it was a positive weekend. Everybody had a good time. Everybody networked. I don't think there was any issues as far as like people amongst each other. I mean, I think it was great.
Oh, absolutely. And it was a really good like meetup as far as the organization and how everybody was able to kind of like get together in one place like all at the same time. That was what we were like totally concerned about. We did a meetup last year. So if anything, like that's pretty much how everyone knew about the meetup this year was because everybody knew about last year.
Word of mouth.
A week ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was.
And that was
most
cool.
of it was word of mouth.
Yeah, that was badass because like shout out to my boy Reef Effect. He was like, hey, there's this thing in Atlanta. And I was like, oh man, I live in El Paso, Texas. So that's like way out of the way. But I'm glad I went. It was great, So let's get into some questions I got here. It's very interesting. And before we started recording, you are a female streamer and there's a lot of different things that you girls, experience and things like that. So just off the top, how did you get your name? I see SpankQueen and, I was just curious of how, got the name. Was it given to you? Did you give it to yourself and whatnot?
So, I've done a lot of computer gaming way back in the day with my first laptop and, SpankQueen was definitely not my first username. Long story short, I'm a huge fan of League of Legends. I used to have like this group that we would just get together every single time I'm done with work or school. And we would get together and play League. And there was an event where if you achieved certain things, you get a icon of a golden spatula.
Nice.
So like when we ended up we were just dominating every single part. Like we had like a huge win streak for like days, and so we were kind of toxic. We had like a
hey,
macro
at least you're being
key.
honest. At least you're being honest.
We had a macro key that would spam the word spank.
Nice.
On on all chat, and it's just every single time we killed somebody, we were just spank, right? So eventually we kind of picked it up and was like, oh, we should do a clan thing, and eventually it became the Spank Squad.
Nice.
So there was like a Spank Knight, Spank
Oh,
King,
that's
and all
dope.
that stuff.
That's cool. So you guys were all rolling together with the names. I've seen that in video games. Like people like it'll say their what they are and then the name after that and let everybody know that we're a group.
Yeah. So technically I was just Queen, but it was like SpankQueen.
Nice. All right, cool. I like that. That's a great story because I like how people get their names or how they go about that because it's cool because you'll be known for that as a content creator, and always people are curious, like, well, how the hell did you get that or whatnot? So that's cool. I like that story.
All the time.
That's badass. Because everybody
I'd say
obviously
it's like a number one question.
Exactly. I'm assuming everybody thinks of the most ridiculous things. I'm sure when you see the name. yeah. So
trust me on that.
Yeah. So give us a quick background about yourself for somebody who might be listening and doesn't know you, and like where you grew up, if you favorite games, what systems,
Well, I guess for starters, I did first start on a console, Team PlayStation. My dad got us every single PlayStation there was, and I started out playing RPGs, so I never really played a lot of co-op. Fighting games that ended up coming later. So if we're talking about my favorite games growing up, though, it had to have been on the PC, and it was actually one of the first few MMORPGs that were out there. It was similar to RuneScape, but it was a Chinese game. It's called Conquer Online.
Okay.
And I was straight up, I think I played this game from when I was 11 years old until 20.
Dang, the longevity of the game, it was still going.
It was still going because it ended up having a 2.0 and all these new classes on there. So that was it was a long thing. I got some lifelong friends from it and everything.
That's cool.
That was pretty much something that stuck.
Yeah, and that's cool that you say that because through gaming, I started streaming about 2.5 years ago, and I met some of the coolest people by gaming. I mean, obviously I have my friends in town and everything, but meeting somebody online and genuinely having a friendship that you build is cool. And then you said for 10 years you've known somebody on and off playing games with them. That's badass.
Yeah. And result to that, she was supposed to be, but due to COVID, but I met one of my lifelong friends in there. She was supposed to be a part of my wedding. So
oh, that's so cool.
That's how far back we go.
Badass.
Because of Conquer Online. It's pretty nice.
That's cool. And I've never heard of that game. So it's a web game, or is it an actual game that you download?
It has a program, its own client.
Okay.
It's very basic, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just imagine RuneScape, but not on the browser.
Yeah, that's cool. And for 10 years of playing it on, damn, the longevity of the game, obviously you liked it. It kept you coming back around. So you're speaking about, you've played games since you were a lot younger and the different types of games. And now that you're open to playing different games, how did your life lead to wanting to stream? Did you see a streamer? Did you I want to try that? Explain how you came about this whole content creation that you're in.
Ooh, well, as far as spending a lot of my time online, I did that because I was gifted a laptop when I was 12 or 13. That's when I first started getting in online, when MySpace was huge and stuff like that. So I really
MySpace.
Yes, MySpace, team MySpace. I'm almost in my 30s,
right?
So we're there. It really tells your age, right? Well, I was getting into coding and stuff. I really liked doing the profile editing on MySpace. So all those crazy glitter edits and stuff. I was doing all that.
Hell yeah.
And it ultimately came down to me doing blog writing. So I really liked blogging about my life, or posting pictures of my aesthetic and stuff. And that was before Instagram became a thing too. And then I stopped content creation for a while because it was kind of taking up a part of my life. I stopped gaming because of it.
Yeah.
Etc. So as far as becoming a streamer though, I never really thought about it until my husband and I would play Apex together. This was before we got married. This is when we started dating 3 years ago. And he would we would record our play. So whenever we had a really good game,
hell yeah,
we'll run it back
hell
to
yeah.
see what we did and how we reacted. And we really liked how we reacted, especially since I was just starting to play Apex too. It was actually my first online FPS. I didn't really play anything like that. So we would watch the first game that we won together as a duo, and I decided to upload it on YouTube, and then it would be, I have like a whole like old Apex playlist like of videos because I stopped uploading on YouTube. But then he goes, well, PS4 connects directly to Twitch. Why don't you try live streaming instead? So I was known as like the bed streamer because I had like like the basic PS4 camera.
Uh-huh.
It was sat on top of like my 50-inch TV that I was playing off of.
Jesus.
And I was sitting, all the way in the back. Like, you see where that light is? Like, further back, playing Apex and streaming
Holy
on
shit,
Twitch.
on a 55-inch? You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, and it was totally impossible. And I knew that wasn't gonna go anywhere because I was like, nah, I've seen people stream. Like, it's gotta be better than this. So, oh man.
So like your husband initially was like the one that kind of nudged you.
Yeah, and eventually I did research.
Yeah.
This was 2.5 years ago when Facebook gaming kind of just boom was like on the map. And having to figure out how to stream on Facebook, like, you know, you have to have a computer. That was like one of like my main like concerns as to starting on a new platform. But then we figured it out somehow on a MacBook Pro, like
nice.
2011.
Nice.
I had to like fan my laptop
because
like,
it gets so hot.
I had to set it up on books
because it gets so hot.
If it got hot, then like the stream would like stagger. It was terrible.
Hell yeah,
it was terrible. But we did that, like, and you know, we did the thing. I started out with just me and my husband watching the whole time, and I eventually just you know, put up my first star goal.
Yeah,
it took me 300. It took me 3 months to make my first $100.
Yeah, and that's good to hear. Like, yeah, that's good to hear that because a lot of people when it comes to this is like, once you realize, okay, if I want to do this, then I need this, then I need that, then I need this, and you took you took that in and research, and you guys did, and I commend that because a lot of people are like, fuck that, it'll take too long, or I don't want to do that. And you know, you said it was only you and your husband for God knows how long, right? I think everybody who's been doing this for a good amount of time can relate to that kind of stuff, you know. So so your husband, you were blogging before, and you like the coding. And then you started, you know, uploading YouTube videos. I think I would upload videos before I even did any gaming things. So yeah. So, you know, when did you start realizing it to take it serious? Like you started doing it, and I'm assuming you were like, oh, this is fun. When did you like, you know what? I'm going to invest more time. I'm going to invest more money. Like, when did that switch flip for you?
So I wouldn't say it was like forced, but life events happened. So like, you know, COVID went on. I had a full-time job. I was full-time a student, 3 years into my bachelor's. And I was streaming for like 4 or 5 hours a night. So once I reached like 50% of the star goal that I had on Facebook, that's when I was like, okay, like this is getting kind of serious. Like, whenever like a lot of people, I would say, show support and love so much to where they really want you to like strive and thrive, like doing this as far as streaming, I just wanted to give it back to the people. So my main focus really was transparency. And I just took that and it took off. Like, as soon as people knew, like, oh, well, where are these stars about to go to?
Yeah.
I made sure every single like item that I bought like made sense to the amount of stars that were sent. And then whenever it went to 50%, I ended up just investing my own, like 1,000 or something. You know, to build a computer. And that was literally like the highlight of a lot, like of everything, was when I built my PC tower and everything to really like start streaming like quality stuff like on Facebook. And that's like the number one thing I noticed that was like the time that really showed me that, oh, I can do this. Like this is gonna be what I'm gonna like. This is gonna be what I'm gonna do for like a while, right?
That's cool. That's cool because like you talk about, you know, you had all the shitty stuff, and we've all been there. But once you saw that people were genuinely like supporting you, And I'm glad that you say the whole transparency thing, which I think is very important because I'm the same way. You know, all this stuff literally is from my community. My video card, my tower, my controller, like all this stuff, my microphone, my camera, is because of them. And it was, you know, it was crazy that people genuinely were supporting me that way, that I made sure that I let people know, like, hey, your money, like the money is great, but it's going right back into the quality of the stream. And and I showed them kind of how you're talking about, like, hey, look, my camera looks dope. I'm making reels. I'm doing this. I'm playing this game now. You know, I'm able because of you guys. So that's cool to hear that kind of stuff, because not a lot of people get to that point that they get to the point to where like they streaming so long, but they might not have the support, or maybe a lot of people don't like the content. But when you realize, like, damn, you know, this can potentially be something, that's awesome to hear, you know. So how long ago was that, between like that period? How many months into where you're like, oh shit, this could probably go somewhere?
So, like I said, like, right, like my first Facebook paycheck came after 3 months of streaming 4 or 5 hours a day or a night.
Y'all hear that, right? Y'all hear that? She said 3 or 4 hours a night for 3 months. Okay, just keep in mind, because a lot of people think that just you start streaming, the money starts coming in. Nope.
No. I mean, I remember how excited I was getting 50 stars.
Hell yeah!
Like my first ever donation, like it was crazy. And we had a lot of fun. My first 500 stars, which is like $5 USD, was because like Jimmy just my husband started dancing in the background, and somebody thought that was funny.
Here, 500 stars. That shit was dope.
Yeah. And it became like that was 3 straight months of that. But where I would have, like, when I started to be able to get my equipment was at the 6 month mark, because I started in June of 2020. So yeah, it made sense, because it was December, the last day of December, that I went full time.
Nice. So yeah, so you are a full time. This is what you do full time.
I've been full time since December of 2020.
Cool. That's good. And then a lot of people, like, you know, when it comes to full time, you know, a lot of people could say they're full time creator, but to be able to, you know, actually do it, consistency, and kind of, you know, make a living or making some type of money sometimes, or if not even about the money, if like having that consistency to keep going, because anybody could say they're a full-time streamer, but you stop for 3 or 4 months and then you start again. You know, the consistency is one of the biggest things, and I'm sure you know about that, is you keep that consistency going, it could only keep going up, but it could also be tiresome, you know. So what
burnout is real.
Yeah, so, you know, speaking about like difficult things, like what is one of the biggest challenges you've had of being a female streamer? Because obviously there's a lot of bad assumptions or stereotypes for female streamers and things like that. And I'm not trying to hate on anybody's grind or how they go about things, but what are some of the challenges you've had to face as being a female streamer yourself?
Well, I would say, like, specifically having a name like SpankQueen already off the bat gives people, like, you know, like they're expecting me to be that person, that to have that kind of, like,
well, they just assume, they don't know. Yeah, they see Spank and Queen and they're like, oh, this girl's kinky or something stupid like that, right?
Yeah, like I'm riding on a kink or something, even though it had nothing to do with a kink.
Yeah.
So that in and itself, people already having the assumption, me being a female, like being a female playing a male-dominated video game on a public platform,
male-dominated as well.
That already in itself just gives me the pressure and the expectations to try and be different. Which I honestly believe it should be normalized by now.
Yeah.
Given modern day, it's 2020.
Yeah, but there's some people that are just stupid, and I mean, I get
I
it.
would say stupid. I would say more like stuck on old ways.
Yeah, well, I'm saying there's a lot of people like they're just ignorant when it comes to certain things like that with females being in male spaces or vice versa, or just people in general trying to pursue something. Oh, she's a female gamer. Why isn't she doing this? Why isn't she in a hot tub? Or why isn't she wearing cosplay? Like those are the stereotypes of a lot of female streamers, and I'm not hating on them as well, but I feel like you don't have to do that kind of stuff to succeed.
Right. And that's been like one of my like number one goals when I went full time, was to kind of like prove to the platform, prove myself to people that that's not all we're about. Like we can have skill in the game, and you can pay attention to us playing the game rather than just paying attention to our face or what we're wearing and how we look and stuff. And that would be one of, if not many, bigger challenges. But I would say the biggest one is just having to prove myself worthy of creating good content without using my face or my body.
Yeah, exactly. And that's tough, because obviously when somebody might jump in your stream, they see your name and they'll just assume like, oh, what? She's not fun. She's not doing this, or they're not paying attention to the quality of the gameplay, or maybe the skill that you have of keeping up with chat. You know, I've watched you a couple times and play different types of games, and you are really good at maintaining the chat, the game, and everything else, because there's a lot of different things going on when we're streaming, you know, making sure the computer's good, the game's good, chat. You don't want to miss any notifications. You try your best to answer questions, you know, and that, for me as a guy, that's all like, yeah, he's supposed to do that. But now it's a female. Now she needs to do this, and this on top of that.
Because it's like you may or may not get like the same type of trolls. Like everyone's gonna get some sort of a troll, but like when it comes to being in this sort of space and this sort of like like a public space, we're more susceptible to like a lot of like misogyny and sexism and things like that, and having to deal with that plus everything else that you had said on top, it does definitely, like, there is a problem.
Yeah, because nobody's going to come in my stream and tell me I'm ugly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody's going to... I already know I'm ugly, first of all. So I'm already ugly.
No.
But no, I'm just saying, but if a guy goes in there and just starts trolling you, oh, you're ugly, why aren't you doing this? It's just like, why do they feel the need to even say shit like that? You know, it's so ridiculous how people are so ignorant when it comes like that. And you girls, your females have to have thicker skin than us, for sure. You know?
Oh, yeah. Because then, I mean... at the end of the day, like a person like that, to try and they just want to get a reaction out of you to make content. Especially towards other platforms like TikTok too. Like they're way more toxic.
Yeah, look, I got this girl SpankQueen on Facebook to get mad at me for telling her this.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They make, you know, it's just so ridiculous. So going based off of that, like the different challenges, like, do you feel more pressure or like lack to have the respect of other female streamers yourself? Or like, do you feel like you there's more pressure to make sure that, you know, you girls unite or you have respect for each other? Because sometimes, I mean, even for guys or just in general people, you know, you might not get a respect. Oh, Jimmy's trying to do this, screw that guy. But for females, I feel like since there's a smaller percentage of you girls, do you guys like reach out to each other and, you know, encourage each other, or like, do you feel like there's a lack of respect from other females toward you and vice versa?
So, like, I guess being on Facebook Gaming specifically, right, for 2.5 years now, I of course have met other female streamers, and we have tried to create like some sort of like a safe space. I started off in the group Ladies of Apex Legends. But even then, even with a room full of females and stuff like that, there will be like disrespect thrown around, especially for people who have their thoughts and feelings, maybe negative ones, of like, we're gonna call them titty streamers, just because in a generalization, both you and I know what a titty streamer is. I hate using that term though. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can respect the hustle and the grind and how other people share their content and put out their content, but not a lot of like, I would say not a lot of other females will think the same way as I do.
Yeah.
And when you have the expectation of another female streamer should be able to respect me, in a general sense, like that's not the way to go, really. So I like respect to come and go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I like to learn about like why somebody might not respect the things that I do and vice versa. So
but that's you being open-minded. Yeah, that's you being open-minded. Not everybody in the world is open-minded on whatever different topics and things like that, you know. So having to deal with the lack of respect from another female, and they should understand how you feel on this platform in a male dominant space, you know.
It took learning too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a whole hypocrite. Like I will say that now, but that's because I learned.
Yeah.
Like when I was first like starting out on the platform, 100% I thought I had to make like a fan house or an OnlyFans or something like that, because I saw other like the people that I came across and became friends with on the platform also had done the same thing, and it was almost as if like, because we all started off on the same like path, like page, is to prove to the Facebook community that we don't have to like sell ourselves out of gaming content in order to succeed.
Yeah.
Whenever I started seeing that, I did feel some type of way. Like I'm not gonna lie about it, but I'm going to say this though, like I can still at least respect the person.
Yeah.
I may not like the content.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well said.
Yeah, but it's kind of like a you do you basis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like mind your business and move on type thing.
Yeah.
And as another content creator, you know, I'll just kind of trust my gut and keep doing what I need to do.
Yeah, and
this is my job. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I like how you said that, because that's very important. Because I was like a year ago, and the Twitch female streamers were doing the tub streams, and I had a lot of people that were talking shit. But one thing I did say, I was like, look, guys, let them do whatever they want. Those viewers are not your viewers. That community is not your community. So do not worry about them. If that's how they want to handle their business, then you go ahead. You don't know them. You don't know what they're about or what they got going on. If that's what they want to do, just like anything in the world, just because you don't understand doesn't mean that you have to, you know.
Exactly.
So the fact that you said that, you know what, hey, you do you, and I have no ill will toward you, but it's not something you might not be good friends with a lot of people that might be in that range or whatever. Cause like, I get it. You know, I have male homies that will do workouts on Twitch, and they get a lot of people following, and it's all females obviously or whatever. But I'm like, hey man, he's working out. He looks good. I mean, I get it. You know, I mean, you know, it's him doing that. It's a him doing him, and I have no ill will toward him. If he's making a living doing that, then hey, shit. How can I say anything? His money isn't my money, and vice versa. You know, so
yeah. I can see like the other side of it though, right? As to why people would be upset.
Yeah, it's like, damn. Well, they're doing that, and do I have to do that? Do I have to work out and fucking do shit so people come watch my ass? So, what you were saying earlier. So, you know, you talk about these different challenges and the respect or lack of respect and the stereotypes, you know, for yourself, you know, being a full-time person, you know, how do you keep that motivation going regardless of all the challenges and all the shit that you got going on a day-to-day basis? Like, how do you keep your motivation going?
Oh, man. My community, honestly. Whenever I think about it, like, I don't think I have played a game offline since I started full time. And that's usually like the thing that would be my offline time, is playing an RPG on my own and whatever. But whenever I was able to share my content, my reactions live, to have a community that supported me and like really, really built my career, that's pretty much what keeps me motivated. Like, I would feel bad if I took a day off.
Yeah.
But everyone's supportive about it normally.
Yeah, of course. You could have a schedule and say, hey, I streamed 45 hours this week. Like, I'm not going to stream one day. It's not the end of the world kind of thing.
Yeah, and people know like I do like those really intense hours. Like I had just succeeded a 24-hour,
Did
but
you
I did
really?
28 that day. I
Oh
did
my
28 that
god,
day.
you're a savage. I missed that shit. God damn. I had a
Oh
girl
no,
that.
it was all good.
Damn, that's crazy. That's awesome. So yeah, you get the. I mean, it's such a basic response, but it's true because what you were saying, like, it's rare. Even now, I've been doing it for 2.5 years. It's rare that if I play offline, it's rare because the free time I do have, and this is just me personally, the free time I do have, I'm working on this and doing on this. So if I'm gonna play, I might as well stream. And I'm fortunate enough that people want to play with me, or have people that I have like good friendships with, not streamers, just people in the community that I met or even online that I could play with.
Yeah.
So it's like a win-win.
Yeah, exactly. And it also is like you won't have any like missed opportunities to like create more content that way.
Hell yeah. Well said. So yeah, so you keep your motivation going because of the community. So, and you talk about, you know, streaming a lot of hours during the week, but how do you balance your relationship? You know, you did mention that you're married, and your friendships like off stream. Like, how do you balance all that? Because a lot of people might not understand what you're doing, or they don't like what you're doing, or maybe you're doing it too much. So how do you explain like balancing everything in your life off of content creation?
Well, I'll tell you what, I haven't figured that out yet because
I'm still trying.
I'll like I said, I'll be completely transparent, like 100. I'll keep it 100 about it. I probably lost a few friends becoming a full-time content creator. I used to be that girl that would be out every single weekend, drinking, going to the club, nightlife, everything. I was that nightlife girl. When I completely changed, apparently, to some people, 180. And I'm like, at the end of the day, y'all know I love my video games. I loved to create content, and if you guys know what I'm up to, like, if you really want to like hang out and chill with me, like, I'll be in my chat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as like with my relationship, right, you know, I'm married, and he was the one that convinced me to do this.
So it's your fault. See, I'm doing it because of you. I'm just playing.
Well, a lot of that kind of stems off the motivation also, was that I don't want to let him down, as far as, because he's been like my number one supporter, my number one fan.
That's awesome.
Yeah, shout outs to Jim. But he's been the, like, I guess he's always okay with me playing my video games and stuff. And of course, if I'm playing games, I'm streaming.
Yeah.
He's always been 100% okay. And that kind of helps because
definitely
he's a very simple guy. He works 10-hour shifts, comes home, he plays his own video games too. Like right now he's sitting down playing Yakuza. So like, and he knows that like this is what I gotta do. And he's like my mini manager too. Like sometimes if I'm just like chilling on the couch with him or whatever, he'll be like, hey, it's 6 o'clock, it's 7 o'clock. I'm like, okay, time to go. And
well, that's
we'll
cool.
Spend like 2 or 3 hours together.
Yeah, but that's cool that you say that, because, you know, having that support from your friends and family, and let alone your partner, is a big thing. Because I'm sure you've heard stories. Well, man, I try to do this, and my husband or my boyfriend or my wife doesn't understand. You know, having that support at home is big. And I'm not saying that you need the support at home, but having it makes it so much easier to pursue this and do this, because you're right, it does take a lot of time. And as you want to be successful, you know, putting in that little extra time off stream to clip and edit and be streaming and do events and play different games, that does take a lot of time. And people might not understand that, you know, with your friends from before, maybe they're like, hey, you were doing this, but now you're doing that. So they have nothing they could relate you with. And it's sad that happens, but I think everybody in their life goes through a point where there's a life decision for yourself, and you might lose some friends. Like when I got married or when I had kids, like, oh, Jimmy can't go out, I can't do this. It's just like, hey, my life that's shifted, my priorities are different. I still want to be friends, but if that's all you're about and we have nothing else in common, hey, it was great. You know, see you later.
Yeah, it was great.
Unfortunately, that's it.
Because streaming ultimately had me, like, it gave me the opportunity to move out on my own, actually. So if anything, like, it carried from just content creating for fun to building my first computer, like myself, custom parts, to moving out of state, like we were going through a lot of life changes. When I say we, like me and my husband,
of course, team, but of course,
we were going through a lot of life changes, and so like whenever I moved, it was like the pinnacle point of like my career, because I was able to focus like 100% on content creation. But with family, I'll call them once in a while. I now live down the street from them again.
Oh, okay.
So
that's cool.
I'll see my parents like once a week.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So like, if anything,
everything's good. I mean,
it works.
I mean, in my opinion, it seems like you got it balanced. I mean, you said, I'm still trying to figure it out, but I think, having the support at home, and, you could focus on what you need to do to keep growing and expanding, and things like that. That's cool. And you have the time to focus on this. Like, hey, obviously I did like hanging out all the time on the weekends, but I'm not going to do that all the time, or I'm not about that life. This is going to take more of my time because I want to do it, kind of thing. So that's cool to hear. So you're already a full-time, and does being a partner on a platform important to you, to feel like, hey, I need that title, or do you feel like I could keep doing it without it? Is that something that's like important to you, to have that title of partner on any platform?
So what I would like is like the benefits of, I mean, I could do without the label. It's just whenever I see folks that like, Facebook gaming partners have the opportunity to like go to these events, or firsthand on these video games that haven't come out yet, stuff like that. That's what I kind of wanted to like have access to, or gifted subs, if we're going to be specific, right? Because I think in a way, how much my community has supported me specifically, they're the ones that keep the roof above my head. So if gifted subs were available to me, I could care less about a Facebook partner or not. Which is why I stopped pursuing partnership, because of the requirements that seemed extremely like difficult for I would say like for a streamer that had gotten demonetized for bugs, like things that were out of my control.
That's a whole other thing too, and it sucks.
And I don't want to get into that too, because it's a lot.
It sucks because it's hard to be positive when a lot of little negative things can affect you like that. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, it's tough, but I'm glad that you said, hey, yeah, you know what? I don't need it. I would like the benefits, but that's you being honest about it. Like, hey, obviously I would like to have it only because of XYZ. You know what I mean? So that's cool. And you're being honest, what I mean? Like, and you shout out the community, and, and everything you're doing is for them and for your career. And, hopefully in time, if that happens, it's going to make sense for you. But I'm glad that you say, hey, I want it, but if it doesn't happen, I'm going to keep doing it. You're going to keep doing your thing.
I'm going to still just be here on the platform like full time, you know what I mean? Because I love doing it. That won't ever change. Is it a little discouraging? Yeah,
but you're being honest.
As long as I have been on there.
No, you're being honest, of course, dude. Like, one thing that I had an issue with, and they would just obviously this past summer, was I never had a supporter button. I would stream maybe 12 hours a week, but I was consistent. I was putting clips. I was doing that. I just could never get the 250 returning. It is what it is. Regardless of how good I was in this amount of time that I had, it was out of my reach. There was no way. So when they unlocked it, I was like, well, damn, thank you. But I was already doing Patreon. I was doing other ways to try to sustain my content creation career. So I'm glad that you're like, you know what? I want that, but I don't need it. I can keep striving and growing off of that. That's good to hear, because it sucks, but at the same time, it's not hindering you to keep doing what you want to do.
Yeah, and just to kind of bounce off of that, whenever that came up, all I could think of was how hard I grinded for that supporter button.
No, and
like 2
I
years
totally
ago.
get it. I totally get it. I've seen both sides of that.
Wait a minute.
I've seen both sides of that, and I totally agree. Like, the people that did it that way, I have the more respect for it. I totally get it. for me to wake up one day and everybody's saying, hey, I got the supporter, and I go and unlock it after me busting my ass for freaking 7-8 months of trying to be consistent and trying to get the numbers, I was nowhere near it. Everybody's like, damn, Jimmy, you should be close. I'm like, bro, look at my statistics. It doesn't matter. I'm not hitting it. I don't know what to say. But I didn't let it. It did bother me. I'm not going to lie. It did bother me, but I kept going. I just not like, well, fuck this. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I'm not going to get that supporter. No, I figured out a different way to go about it and keep succeeding and growing in my own way. So that's it.
I'd say a lot of my streamer homies, definitely like really, really wanted that supporter button, but because of like how hard it was for a lot of people, I've seen them go to Twitch or try to Patreon,
do different things,
or just quit streaming altogether.
And that's true, because I feel like and this is just me, and I'm not talking shit about it. I'm just being honest. A lot of people feel like they need that title, like, oh, I'm finally affiliate on Twitch, and I was like, well, that doesn't mean shit, because it's not that hard to get. All it is you can get a sub now. You know what I mean? But to get it on the Facebook side, that's way harder. To get the sub button. So yeah, you can go over there and go to Twitch, but it's harder to you're jumping platforms, and I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, but not trying to at least push yourself on multiple platforms. I think it hinders you, especially if you're just starting or small. Like, you want to see where you hit. So like limiting yourself at one place. I tell people all the time, you have an Instagram? No. Why not? You have a Twitch? No. Why not? I was like, just make it, just so you have an opportunity for your name to be on another platform, and they might just come to your Instagram or your TikTok or shit like that. So yeah, there's different ways, but and I'm glad that you said that it bothered you, but you're positive about it, and you're moving forward.
I'm happy that there are probably easier ways to get it now. I don't know what the process is. It might have been
they opened it and then they closed it. They opened it and closed the sub button. They opened it for people who had decent numbers, and then they closed it because they didn't want any new accounts just to have the sub button right away.
Okay, so then it might have been how like partner was then too. Last year it says that you have to
it gives you a little criteria. It gives you a little criteria.
The criteria, the criteria for it. I know the sub button also didn't have, like, it only had the 250 returning viewers as a criteria. They still had that for partner, at least for me, and I'll shout out Goya. Like, me and Goya talked about it recently. And there's just some stuff happening recently that I'm probably not gonna go way too deep into it, but there are other ways to get
of course. I think that
so now I'm like,
well, the thing is, that's good. Well, that's the thing too, is it's cool that you could reach out to people that you've known, and you try to figure out and help each other to succeed and things like that. And that's good to have, because that's one big thing that I tell people. You got to network, but with the right type of people, and you might not be the right type of people to other people, so you can't take it personal. Like, I'm a pretty personable guy, and I feel like I'm pretty cool with everybody, but not everybody's gonna like me, and that's okay. But the people that are, and they want to get to know me and talk and things like that, then cool. It's a mutual respect and a friendship that you try to build, especially when it comes to this content creation thing, because a lot of my friends that that don't do this don't know shit about it, and I'm not giving them a hard time, and they don't understand, but at the same time, I'm not going to worry about them not supporting me and not wanting to know, so the people that I do want to talk about are the same people that are doing this as well. So it helps when it comes to that. So my next question obviously is, do you feel like being respected or taken serious as a content creator important to you by your peers, like somebody that do you care what people say about you at all?
So as far as like my peers, so I'm gonna just call them like my IRLs, because that'll be like it would have been the people that I reached out to first when I first started content creating. People just think I sit on a chair and click live and just do whatever I want. As luxurious as that sounds, no, I have to have some sort of an image to uphold. With all the whole female streamer things too, but me as a person, me as a SpankQueen and stuff like that. So I can say yes and no. So yes, because I want them to take me seriously. Well said. Because it's kind of like this. I would support anything that you guys do, whether you first open like a small business, indie company, or like if you pursue your music career all of a sudden out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, I got you.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be that person at the DJ booth. I'll be that only person. Like, that'll be me. But I guess I expect the same thing, which it's kind of like my downfall in a way.
Yeah. Because it's like, hey, I'm supporting you and, you know, and your dreams or whatever it is. And it'd be nice to get it back. But I think that's cool that you say that. And that goes back to what I was saying is like, you know, relating yourself to the right type of people that understand when it comes to this space, you know, because I want to be respected by people that are respected. I can care less about a shitty ass streamer that rages or, you know, that isn't taken serious by other people. But if somebody that's respected in our space and our platform says, hey, man, you know, SpankQueen's pretty dope. Just having people say that about you is already a thumbs up, because you don't want, I'm not trying to cater, and I'm sure you aren't either. Your goal is not to make everybody like you. But at the same time, if somebody that respects you and likes you says something good about you that respects you, that's what you want. You know, you don't want somebody who doesn't like you talking shit. Obviously, you can care less about them. You know?
And I mean, I don't really find that often just because, like, I've been in such a closed space because of, you know, full-time content creation. I don't really go out a lot, and I don't really, like, associate outside of, like, the small circle that I have, which is, like, literally my moderator chat, because that's who I interact with every single day now. Whenever it comes time to, like, you know, like, interacting with people outside of it, you know, what do I get to talk about? Oh, yeah, I was playing games for like 40 hours a week.
Like, no shit. I know, but the people that respect you that do this, like somebody that, you know, the friends and the I know when I was out there in Atlanta, you were talking to a lot of people, and I'm sure you've known them for a while and they all respect you. So that's what I mean by the peers. Is like, those are the type of people that you want to make sure. That want to make sure that, you know, they can never say anything negative about you other than maybe just playing around or joking. They're like, hey, SpankQueen's dope. She's a full-time. Go check her out. You know, it's never like, SpankQueen, like, don't fucking go watch her. You know what I mean? So not that you care about that, but having the more positive thing is good too, you know, because you want to have that relationship with other content creators. And, you know, and me reaching out to you, like, I just reached out to you. You don't really know me. I don't really know you other than our small conversation. But for you to be so open-minded, to be like, hell yeah. And, I'm down, and it's cool. And it's awesome to see that, because I felt that before I even reached out. I was like, I think if I reach out to her, I think she'd be cool. And I was, so I started watching you more and more, and I catch you when I can. And I was like, oh yeah, she's dope. Everybody was right. So cool. And then I reached out. So it was a win. So like, obviously you're doing it full time. What's the ideal future for yourself? Is this like a short game, a long game? Where do you see yourself when it comes to the future of your content creation career?
I've been kind of like getting into like more outside of gaming content, like my cooking and stuff like that.
I did see that one. I did see that one when you were making food. That should look good.
Oh yeah, that shit was good.
Yeah.
It was my first time making it, but that's the thing. I wanted like my community to start like kind of like following in that sort of journey. Like my community had literally watched like me and my husband get together, spend time together, get engaged, get married. Like my community has followed my life
that's so badass.
That closely.
That's cool.
Yeah, so as far as that, I want to get kind of like a little bit outside of gaming content. I want to start doing like cooking. I want to get like a better setup in my kitchen when I get a house, so that way I can like expand. And I just reopened my Twitch account, so like I can start doing that and expanding other places. So future wise, I'm hoping if I have enough time to organize this. You know how it is when you're offline, you're still content creating.
Yeah, no shit. Yep.
I'm trying to do a cookbook, so I want to do a little cookbook.
That's so badass. You know, I've had other people, and everybody has a different answer, and a lot of it isn't even related to gaming. So that's cool that you said the same thing, because I had a shout out to my boy, the unfortunate one. He was like, man, if I get to the point that I can make a living doing this, I want to open a food truck. You know, he used to be a chef. You know what I mean? You know, like me, I was like, man, I enjoy streaming. I love playing video games, But I was like, you know what? If I can start a podcast show and be successful in that, that's the way I'd want to go. As much as I love streaming and doing things like that, that's like, if I could use this platform to get people to know me and want to get to know me, and have people, to dope ass people like yourself to sit and talk to and listen, that's how so it's cool that you said that, man. I want to make a cookbook. That'd be, if I'm in the place to where I can make content and pursue something else like this for life. That's awesome to hear. That's badass.
Yeah, because it kind of puts me somewhere. But I always have like a huge backup plan too. My other backup plan is to finish my bachelor's degree in psychology. So
yeah,
I have a year left.
Yeah, that's like I have an IT degree. That pays my bills right now. Obviously, I'm not in the point to where I could be a full-time content creator. I have kids. I have a house, and and things like that. I have to be in that position, money wise, financially, to do it, but I'm still doing everything I can within the time and effort that I have to still be a good husband, be a great father, still, do my IT career. But eventually, if I can, I want to do this shit, but it's, but it's cool that you saying that, because, hey, if this doesn't go through and you can honestly, hey, I tried it for X amount of years, and you turned around and say, hey, I tried it, busted my butt. Well, guess what? I can go get a job because I can finish school and pursue this. So that's good to have options in life. Having options in life is great, because the day that I could walk away from ITD, and if let's say I do this and I crash and burn in a year, guess what? I can get an IT job, again, so that's badass, So going into, you've been doing for 2.5 years, like what are some of the tips and things you wish you knew from the beginning? Obviously we learn through our failures, but what are some of the tips that you would recommend somebody coming up, especially female content creators? What were some of the things that you could, say, hey, look out for this, do this, don't do that, look more into this? Like, what are some of your tips personally that you experienced that you can give somebody?
Well, as a female, I'd say this. So obviously what happens to us is we'll get those trolls in our chat and stuff like that, to try to like really not like focus too much on like their comments and maybe their hurtful words and stuff. That really most people will speak for themselves, and most people in chat will speak for you. Like that's one of the things that I used to just even try to make like content off of hateful stuff, but it doesn't really usually get you that far. It just makes other people susceptible to trolling you even more. Yeah,
the negativity, like you're bringing it more to yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's almost like a virus. So like you'll get caught up in all your hateful comments, and you'll forget that there's positivity. So you'll forget about that. So that's one of the things that I would say. Another thing of advice is make sure you get a good camera.
Hey, that's what I tell people. I was like, your audio and your video, if you have those,
number one,
dude, like you will get so many more people, because they will respect that. Hey, the stream looks good and it sounds good. You know, because people see that. I myself, like when you turned on the camera, I was like, damn, that camera is dope. It looks clear as shit. Like the lighting is good. Like the mic sounds great. I was like, fucking win. Like right off the bat, I knew how serious you were right when you turned on. I was like, damn, that shit looks good. That's how it should be.
Yeah. And I actually I thought that with this kind of quality, like I'm pretty sure you have like a A7000, A6000.
Five.
Okay, so you have like a Sony, like almost like a mirrorless.
Yeah, just the kit camera. The kit camera, and that's all I have for right now. And it looks better than a USB camera for sure.
What do you think I have?
Really?
Guess.
I thought from the quality, just seeing it here, it looks like you have a mirrorless, unless you have a really high USB camera, like an Elgato or something, or a Logitech something.
I have a C920.
What? Oh, that's the cam. That's a webcam, right?
Yep, I have a webcam. Ooh. This is a USB camera.
Well, hold on a second. Did you mess with the settings though?
So, I'm actually going off of NVIDIA broadcasts.
Oh, okay.
You can like make it look like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You their focus is good, and the blur in the background is good, and even that your microphone is blurred, but you're focused That's why I'm like, damn, that should look good. That looks badass.
Yeah, and it has like a lot of options for people that are, you know, like not trying to break the bank. For example, like I can remove my background without
and what's
using
that?
a green screen.
And what software are you using, just so people know?
Oh, NVIDIA Broadcast
There
usually comes. The program usually comes with your graphics card. You have an NVIDIA graphics card, so
Well, there you go.
it's free.
There you go. Hey, budget, and it looks good. Hey, that's a win. Yeah, that's a win.
So I could save $600, $700 on a mirrorless camera.
Yeah, I'm frugal. When I bought this one, I bought it used for like $300. This guy was just getting rid of it, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
and
you
I
got
just
lucky then.
I did, for sure. I did. So yeah,
it did also take some knowledge too.
Yeah.
Like I used to be a photographer. I do it like as a hobby now, but being able to mess with the settings and stuff. But that's like really easy stuff if you know how to edit things on your phone. It's the same thing.
And that's cool that you say that, because it's very important, obviously, when you start, like for you, that those two tips are great. And you have to learn. Like I tell people all the time, you have to learn how to use your own equipment. You can't assume and have everybody help you with everything. You got to learn how to use your equipment. And I'm cool that you said that, because you're like, look, make your camera look good. Look, this camera is X amount of money, but look how great it is. I couldn't even tell, and I assumed you had a mirrorless camera. You know what I mean? But you did the research and made it look good.
Yeah, I even so just like a little short story, I would say, to try to not like take up all the time.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Do you let's see. So I had Trifinite, Sir Capalot, or Sir Plus ENT, Black Lion Gamers, Melody B, all of them, they all came over to my apartment.
Nice.
Because we had a little kickback at my apartment. So of course I showed them the stream room and everything, and I remember the look on Black Lion Gamer's face when he was like, "You are not streaming off of a webcam." Like he looked at my set. I was like, no, turn this. He was like, turn that shit on. Let me see how it looked.
And you're like,
just like, no way.
Boom. You know what? Another camera that's got me that I've seen the quality like that is the new Elgato one. The new, I was like, holy
I wanted
shit,
to upgrade to that one.
That one looked good. I think it's like $200, but I mean, it looked flawless. I mean, I can't imagine how much better it's gonna look that you already have. Your lighting and the focus and everything looks great. So I could only imagine that little upgrade, because you don't need to have the best camera, but you need to make sure that it looks more than decent, because when you care, people notice.
Yeah, exactly. And that would be, one of the few things like before, like what I would upgrade on my stream. But for now, like, life stuff happens. So we're just you just gotta
make the best of what you have.
Swimming.
Yeah.
Make the best of what you have. That's literally like, I'm that proof.
Yeah, I had a Yeti camera for a Yeti microphone forever. Then I got the arm, and then I would hit the table, and it would sound. Then I had to get like a shock mount, and so I get it. Yeah, you know what I mean. So you learn over time, and then you know where you can kind of get stuff. So that's dope to hear. We talked about all this, this stuff. You playing that game online for 10 years, and your husband and being
since birth.
Supporting you and going full time and all the different things you got going on. And I'm glad that we got to sit down and you talk about your different experiences and your continuing journey with this. So with that being said, plug yourself, man. Let everybody know where we can find you. What's your schedule? What's your time zone? What do you play? Let everybody know what's up.
Shoot. Well, I'm mostly at Eastern time, nighttime, around 6 to whatever time I feel like it.
Nice.
And on Facebook Gaming, it was at fb.gg/spanqueen plays.
Okay.
Somebody took SpankQueen.
Nice.
And I had just started going part-time on Twitch. I'm trying to do that during the daytime, so every day except Sunday. For a couple hours on Twitch and stuff, so catch me on that as well, twitch.tv/SpankQueen. I'm also on TikTok at SpankQueen.
Nice. I love the consistency. The consistency, and it's important. Yeah, because it's easier for people to find you. And all the links will be below, guys. I'll have the links to all her social media sites and things like that. But thank you so much for taking the time and sitting down with me and me getting to know you a little bit more. And I hope that we keep the lines of communication open between us. And I look forward to getting to know you and you getting to know me a little bit more. And let's see if we can collaborate down the future with different things. And I appreciate your time, girl.
Hell yeah! You can always count on me whenever it comes to stuff like this. Like if you end up doing like a multi-streamer podcast or something live, like I got you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, because I have so many ideas, and I just want to make sure that when I do things, I'm the type of person that if I make a move, I want to make sure it makes sense. So I appreciate you saying that, because you're well spoken, you're loved and liked, and you know you take this serious, and that's all I need from people, because you know how it is. Like if you're giving me your time, you know what I mean. So I do appreciate that. So I want to work with people that do appreciate each other's time, and we're all trying to do something together and make some content for people to enjoy. So thank you so much again.
You're welcome, man. If anything, we definitely should collab soon.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. If you guys are watching this on VOD, on YouTube, or you're listening to the audio version on iTunes or Spotify, make sure to go follow us there. We have many other episodes, not only with content creators, we have different topics and things that the channel will be bringing. But thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Until next time, from myself, Miss SpankQueen, we appreciate y'all. Peace out.